I'm James Intriligator. I'm a professor here in the School of Psychology. I do work on consumer psychology and also on neuroscience. So, jellyfish. I can tell you about jellyfish. The way a jellyfish reproduces is each jellyfish actually has both sexes. It can be both male and female. So they go along, and at some point they all come together into a big pool and they kind of have a jellyfish orgy, which is kind of interesting. And then they go away, and at some point one of these jellyfish might be pregnant, let's say, and so it will drop a little seed, drops out of the jellyfish, and it goes all the way down to the ocean floor, and it goes into the ocean floor, and then a little tree grows from the bottom of the ocean. A little teeny tree grows up, and it has branches, and it has little fruits that grow, and then the fruits fall off, and those are baby jellyfish. It's the only organism that spends part of its life as a plant. I remember as a high school student, secondary school student, wishing that someday I could kind of study the brain and understand how kind of the brain works and consciousness and stuff. But I never really liked biology, and so I never thought that I'd be able to go from kind of, you know, a secondary school kid who wants to understand the brain to actually studying the brain, and then, you know, sort of wandering through random paths in life. I got into computer science for bunch of years, and then sort of mathematics and engineering and philosophy, and then that brought me to psychology. And I guess over the time I always kind of was passionate about understanding how the world works and how things like perception and attention and the brain works. So I guess it's been always there in the background, and I feel like the more I find out, the more kind of interested and passionate I get about it. Well, my PhD work was in perception and attention, so kind of vision is, I guess, what I'm most known for in terms of like journal articles and things. But for the last 10 years I've been doing a lot more work in consumer psychology and applied psychology. And I'm kind of, I guess, just generally interested in figuring out how we can take what we do in labs and make them relevant to the real world. You know, so whether it's like helping companies make better packaging, or helping people be happier in their workplace, or even I've been working on commercialization stuff recently, so helping colleagues who've developed new techniques for behavior change, helping them get that out there into the real world. So I spent many years doing research in labs, but I kind of started to feel too disconnected from reality. And I thought also there's a lot of cool research here, so I try to do what I can to bring research out of labs and into the real world. So now, because of that, my work isn't really in an area, so I'm not an expert on brain imaging or on these things. I'm sort of a generalist who tries to bring stuff out to the real world. It's mostly I'd like to help other people do their stuff, whatever that might be. So, you know, I feel like I am energized by helping someone accomplish whatever it is that they had wanted to accomplish. So I also like to create beautiful things, whatever they might be. So, you know, I like to spend time working on a PowerPoint that looks good, or a lecture that sounds good. There's something kind of satisfying and rewarding about putting together something like that. Same with science. You know, it is rewarding and motivating to actually make an experiment that kind of works, or to create a software program. I still love programming, so it's always motivating to actually get to write a piece of software that actually does something. I would like to be an artist, actually. I think that would be kind of fun. I would like the freedom of working as an artist, the ability to kind of create new things. I think I'd like that. I don't know if I'd be successful at it, but I like the idea of it, at least. Well, for me, I'm pretty interested and passionate about music, and also about vision in a weird way. So I have synesthesia myself, so whenever I hear music I kind of see colors and things, and I've always thought it would be fun to kind of study that more. And I've created visual displays that sort of do that. I have a patent on a way of generating animations that kind of trick your brain and make the animation seem to move to the music. And I've always thought it would be interesting to kind of study what's happening in the brains of people as they're experiencing music, or as they're kind of seeing art and music together. So I'm kind of interested in multi-sensory research. Well, for the kind of work that I do, consumer psychology, and also for work on perception and attention, it's one of the best places in the world, and it seemed like a nice place to raise kids and friendly people at the the fact that it's kind of a university town, and even though it's a tiny city, you see students everywhere. It has sort of an energy and a vibrancy with students walking around throughout the year. I love the view from the terrace looking out over the bay and seeing Clondino in the distance. So in terms of a place to kind of go and reflect, or more often than not run past, I like that. I like to actually just go around the internet and learn new stuff. You know, so I watch random things. I go to Facebook and find something interesting, and I go somewhere else, and I kind of have a non-linear mind in general, so I find that I can just spend hours going around the internet and kind of watching random science stuff, learning about new political stuff, whatever it is. Don't overthink it, don't overworry. Statistics and surveys tend to suggest that nowadays the myth of having a career that goes on for the rest of your life is just that. It's a myth. It's not true. That nowadays the average person will switch careers entirely 3 times in their life. So, you know, don't think about what do I want to do until I'm 50 or 60. Think about what I want to do for the next 5 or 6 years and kind of go at that. And that would be the first bit of advice. Don't worry about it too much. The flip side to that is pick things that you enjoy doing. You know, you don't want to pick a job or a career that you find boring. So like for me, I love talking to students, teaching, finding out about science. So for me, it's not really work and a job, it's more just fun. So try to think about what it is that you love doing and just pursue that.